achieve success with global.media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
That's the abrupt stop,
Are we
wasn't it?
live?
We're live.
Hey, finally.
We're live. Poor Lisa's been waiting about an hour.
Uh,
At least we're here.
no, but we're here, we're here. The LinkedIn gremlins have settled for now, and we're here.
Take it away, Lisa. Take it away.
Hopefully our friends are here as well. If you are here joining us live, let us know where you're joining us from, which country. Say hi because we can't see you unless you say hi. LinkedIn doesn't let us, StreamYard doesn't let us see the comments unless you say something. So, welcome everyone to our last show of the year where we're talking about another aspect of menopause, and this is about how we're dealing with the mental stress of the holiday season. What I will do is, since we're kind of late, let's pass the mic to Paulette to introduce herself for the very few people who don't know who Paulette is, and then we pass it to Annie.
Hi, I'm a bit sort of snotty and squeaky, so I apologise. I'm Paula Hallam. You probably, most people know me by now. And I'm really here to put a sort of mental wellness angle to what we talk about. And this particular topic is incredibly important. The strain and the stress we put on ourselves this time of the year, crazy. Add that to the menopause and you're going on a different level. So I'm really interested to see how Lisa thinks we can try and mitigate some of that. So over to you, Annie.
Yes. Oh, what joy. LinkedIn is not talking to StreamYard. Very annoying. It might work halfway through, you never know, right? But we're having trouble streaming to LinkedIn. Maybe we could initiate on LinkedIn's end. We'll keep trying to let you know when it's resolved, if it's resolved. Please check your LinkedIn to ensure the stream looks okay. There's no stream. Yeah, try creating a new live stream. No, we're not gonna do that, honestly. Anyway, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Christmas soon. Yay. Yay.
Yeah, but who
I
are
can't
we
believe
welcoming if no one is here to see us?
it's who's here?
But they're all on LinkedIn waiting.
Can they see us though?
I'm not seeing the stream at all.
Right, neither am I. So I don't know what they're watching. But as long as you're there, my friends.
Well,
You can always watch my YouTube. That's probably a better idea, right? Let me share the link with you because I'm so kind. I'm a kind, giving person.
oh no. So how do we get
What
it
do
on
you
LinkedIn?
know? Oh yes. Join on my YouTube, and whilst you're there, you know what you gotta do: comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, right?
Oh, yes.
Let me get some hours in. I need some watch hours in, Lisa. Honestly.
Yeah, you can do that with your own shows. I want to be on LinkedIn. Don't use me to
I'm not. I can't do what StreamYard won't do, can I? You know. Right.
Yeah, I was hoping the gremlins would get us. I guess okay. I'll have to send people to go to link to YouTube. Oh
I don't
dear.
know. It's not global.media LinkedIn. Global.media YouTube channel. That's what we're trying to say. Yay.
Let me add mine. Oh my goodness.
You got YouTube as well, haven't you?
Yes, that
Are you streaming there?
yeah, but supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't
So
see it
let me.
top of my StreamYard. It's not top. It's not top of my StreamYard. Oh,
Oh,
look, there I am. Oh, having trouble stream. Oh, there we go. What a beautiful message. Technology. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Eh? What a wonderful thing. How are you, Paulette?
Horrible.
Horrible. You're not that bad. Lisa said, her joints are revolting. I'm like, it's not. Your joints are not that bad. Like, really. I don't think
If
she
we
meant.
create a new LinkedIn link
No,
tomorrow, no.
no. Go and watch on. Go to our YouTube, my friends. That's the answer.
Oh
If
my
we start
goodness.
creating a new stream, then we lose all the people and we lose everything anyway. Go to our YouTube. That's what you need to do.
Let me put it then.
Where are you sharing your YouTube link?
I'm putting it in the comments.
Okay.
Did you introduce yourself?
Today's men know more live on
Oh my
watch
goodness.
on Lisa's channel, you can watch on my channel. Either way, just make sure you join us.
Yes, please.
And we'll carry on our party.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, is that what that thing is? Okay, that's quite annoying. Okay. Now I know. Right. Who is here? Let's see who's no one's joined us yet. They're still protesting, Lisa. They're still protesting.
That's okay. We'll copy the show and post it as a link. So
Okay. Now you share the link. That's what you can do, really.
yeah.
My friends, what can we say? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, I'm still having fun doing what I do best, which is write books, publish books, and make bestsellers. Amazon did a bad thing today. I don't know what happened. Terrible thing.
What happened?
They blocked my client's latest book, so the Encore Reset Journal. Oh,
Why?
they said it's something about
Oh dear.
you must publish books on Amazon. We're like, it's a book. They're like, well, you can't have attachments to your book. We're like, there's no attachment. It's a book.
Yeah.
Because we reference the book that on which the journal is based. Like, you got a book, then they do a journal
Yeah.
about it because just mentioned it. Amazon said that they published a
That
book for
would
that.
be the problem.
It was published yesterday.
Yeah, but when you try to connect two things, it's like volume 1, volume 2.
Mm.
They get really bad because when Jay was gonna do a workbook towards
Mm.
his, and they wouldn't let him do that when he first tried to do it himself. So I think they can be really funny about when you try to link things.
So what do they suggest we do? I mean,
Well, the thing to do is like you did with Jack and Water. You know how you put Jack and
yeah,
Water
it creates a
books
series.
together, create
Yeah,
it as a series, and then it'll work.
but we haven't even linked them together yet. We just
So that's
published.
what you need to do.
Are you all getting feedback? I'm getting.
But there isn't 3 books, Paulette. There's only 2 books.
Two is a series.
No, you need 3.
Anywho, my friends, we can chat about this after. I'm sure it's causing you
Our
stress.
YouTube friend, their godmother. Oh, yeah, okay. Welcome, welcome. I don't know who that is. So welcome. At least now you're joining on YouTube. You get to talk to us. You get to hear us. You get to watch us as well. Those on LinkedIn can't quite do that yet. Hopefully they will do, right?
Yeah.
No, so look, so we're just we're getting over this book issue. I want to try and get a couple more books done before Christmas. Yeah, that's the aim. It means no sleep, no washing, no going to the loo or let. It means just working, right?
Oh my gosh. So you're gonna have to share with us how you're gonna reduce your stress as you're going through that.
I think I'm doing the
Sorry,
less.
no, that's the point of it. The stress of dealing with Amazon
No.
as your
I'm telling you about the stress of my life, full stop.
okay. We'll discuss it after.
it's
Let me
it's more
introduce.
about the changes I'm making for 2026, Lisa.
Yeah, well, hold that thought. Let me introduce myself and then we'll get the topic started.
Go on then. Then I'll come back to this in good time.
Yes, yes, because I see Paulette is dying. So.
Go on then.
Welcome everyone. I'm sorry the tech has gotten us, but if you're joining us, please let us know where you're joining us from. My name is Lisa Favek. I'm a dietitian and coach for women's health, dealing especially with perimenopause and menopause. That is my passion and purpose, the reason I get up every morning because we're still not talking enough about it. There's still a lot of confusion about it. I had a couple of clients talk to me today and they were saying they thought they were the only ones with particular symptoms. So we need to have more awareness about this topic. This is the last show we're having for the year, and I thought it was appropriate that we talk about how to deal with stress during the holiday season. We're already into the season, and I know people are starting to close up, their reports, get everything done, so maybe they can go on holiday. Maybe they're planning to visit family and friends. They're planning what to cook, what activities they should attend, and it could all get very stressful, especially when you're going through menopause. Unfortunately, the hormones they don't take a back seat when you're going through menopause and say, well, it's the holidays, let me give you a little vacation. No, this is when symptoms start to appear, especially things like anxiety, depression, even suicidal thoughts. Many of us are empty nesters, or maybe kids have gone off to college. Maybe we've had persons we've lost. I've had several friends within the past 3 weeks had almost back-to-back deaths where they've lost family members. So this holiday season for them is a period of mourning. So how do you find that calm? How do you find your energy? How do you find even that moment of joy when you seem to be surrounded by a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, persons are losing their jobs, it's just a whole lot of things happening, and it seems to be happening worldwide. And we need to find ways to find moments where we could relax more, de-stress a bit, and find a moment of joy because this is a season of joy. So we should find ways to find that joy. Um, so wanted to just share some information about what happens during menopause. So as your hormones fluctuate, as they decrease, the main one being estrogen, that controls a lot of our mood swings. So as those hormones fluctuate, some days you may feel really great, you may get up in a good mood, have the energy to clean or to make a lot of meals. And then the very next day you may feel like I can't get out of bed. Why am I even trying? And it's because of those fluctuating hormones. On top of everything that women have to deal with, right? We are taking care of everyone else except ourselves. Most times we're putting ourselves last. And this is a time really when we want to consider what is not just for now, but the new year is around the corner. What is it going to be like in the new year? What are we setting ourselves up for coming 2026? I can't believe we're talking about 2026 already. This year has just flown by. So I wanted to pass the mic. I know, Paulette, you deal a lot with that mental health space. Are people coming to you? What are they talking about? What are they asking for in terms of guidance?
So I kind of think there's two sides to it. One's emotional, the other is financial. Um, and when there are financial concerns, whether you can meet the bills, whether you can even afford to buy a Christmas gift, whether or not you can um, give the child what they've asked for, that's a major one. But you can't really afford it, and then you're getting yourself into debt. you go into a sort of spiral of, should I borrow, should I not borrow? If I borrow, I've got to pay it back. People they take themselves into like a loop of, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I should have prepared earlier. But you can't prepare for being made redundant, you can't prepare for being laid off, you can't prepare for not getting the overtime you expected when companies are cutting costs left, right, and centre and expecting you to do 7 days work in 5 because they don't want to pay it. So you've got all kinds of issues. You've got people on the emotional side who are overworked, stressed, have anxiety, feel like they are not good enough, feeling as if they're a disappointment. Are they going to be able to put on the big day that everyone's expecting? And so there's this huge stress that's kind of hanging over them. And then, as you've already pointed out, this is a really tough time for many people who have lost somebody. Whether you lost somebody on or around the Christmas days, as I did, or whether or not you actually lose somebody, early on in the month, or it last month or month before. If you were close to that person and they are normally sitting in that chair round the table at Christmas, the emotional feeling of that person not being there is huge. It's as if there's actually a need to leave that chair vacant, because that's Granddad's chair, and that was the chair that Grandad always sat in. And so there's a huge emotional pressure on the mum normally to say, we're going to move the seating around or whatever. And everyone's going, who's going to sit in Granddad's chair, And nobody wants to sit in Granddad's chair because that's an acknowledgement that Granddad's no longer here. So, one of the ways that I actually had a conversation with someone, they used to have two tables and they would put them back to back, right? And I said, well, this time, why don't you just make it a long table? And then it's just a completely different table aspect. And then no one's looking at where Granddad sat because Granddad's just not sat at that table before because we've never had that layout. So instead of putting the tables that way, put them that way. And she was like, oh my God, I could do that. I could do that. I could definitely do that. And I was like, well, she said I could get a tablecloth. Da, da, da. I was like, great. Your mind is now gone from Granddad's chair was the big problem to how can I make Christmas Day work for me? Now she's still going to miss her dad. She knows her mum's going to miss her husband. The kids are going to miss Granddad. But they're not all staring at a chair going, someone should be sat there. So, because she said, should I lay a space? And I'm like, no, 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 no. And that's when I suggested we start a new tradition of a different table layout. And that was all it took to just flick this. I call it flicking the switch. It's a change in the mindset of going one way, going the other way. And when you are in menopause, and I will say this because I talk to women who are of a certain age, and they tell me that they are standing in the middle of a large supermarket and they just leave their trolleys and walk out because the music's blaring, there's people pushing and shoving, you've got your hand on the Brussels, someone else comes in, and now you've got a tug of war over the Brussels, and you just think, I can't do that. And you just walk out the shop with nothing and then have to face it all over again. Now, why does that happen? Well, it's called overwhelm. And when your mind becomes overwhelmed, it says, I can't do this. I just need to get away. I need to change where I'm at. And so there are two examples where you've got the financial and you've got the emotional. And when you chuck in the health, the physical, that's a completely different ball game because you have no control over when your body is going to say, I've had enough. You have no control as to when your body is going to say, I can't do this. I'm going to have a meltdown. You know, it's an overwhelming feeling of, I can't do this. And nobody understands it. Doesn't matter how. I've got friends who've got fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with it. And I was saying to them, do you ever get that frustrated? You just put things down and walk away? And they were like, all the time. And that's hormonal, very much an endocrine system problem. And it is very similar to the menopause in that respect. So I'd love to hear what you think about what I said, because I'm sure it's in alignment with what you do.
Yeah, I love that idea of rearranging how the room looks. I'm gonna steal that because um, you're so right. Like I said, I have friends who've lost people back to back, and it's not like they were sick, so we were expecting them to pass anytime soon. No, this was very sudden. So all of a sudden now their family gathering looks very different, and this should still be a time of joy and remembering the good. So I think doing a whole rearrange of the room so that people aren't noticeably missing, I think that is a really brilliant idea, and it's something I think everyone can do. Maybe go to someone else's house if you've normally had it at one person's house every year. Pick someone else's house, or mix it up so that it's not obvious that the person isn't there. And it's not that you're not acknowledging them or remembering them, but I know looking at an empty spot, I know what I could do from a personal level. So yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. And yeah, and I know this is the time where people are financially, it's an issue, but we still want to get what we normally get. And that means going into the malls and the crowds and the noise and the rush. And I know a lot of countries, thankfully, there's online shopping now. But for many of us, we still have to face the crowds. And that could be quite overwhelming. And I've had somebody today talk about driving anxiety, where normally they're fine, but just being around this time where there's more traffic on the roads and getting into the malls is a lot of traffic. I'm not the nicest people, a lot of road rage and things like that come up. So they get quite anxious where she's talking about pulling aside and letting people pass because she just can't have that person behind her honking and stuff like that. So there are a lot of little things that come up, especially in menopause, and then it's layered with all the responsibilities we've had. So it's to find ways to bring that calm, bring that ease. And this is where things like deep breathing comes in. Your diet is also very important. But I love the ideas that you shared. I think it's a good place that people could start, and it's very easy to do, and I think that's great. Any,
There was another one that popped up the other day, and it came up in our mental wellness cafe.
yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was in the children's anxiety room, and we were talking about how not to spoil children. And there's so many studies I've read. I can't tell you how many studies, and they were saying, go for an experience, go for one present they really want, and something that's really useful. And, the experience can be that you all go out as a family on a treasure hunt, or you all go out and you do something that you've never done before, but you do it. You plan an excursion for the family. And that's something that I think is less expensive. We have escape rooms in the UK that are really popular, things like that, or an excursion. I mean, the cinema's an expensive option, but turning your lounge into a cinema room and having the popcorn, and they get to choose the film, and you put on Disney or Sky or whatever it is, and you actually write a scroll of what's going to happen, and we're going to come into a cinema room, and when they come in it's all going to be black, and you can make your house the experience. And so it suddenly becomes, it's not all about the gifts, the gifts, the gifts, the gifts. So one thing they really wanted, you go all out to get one experience, and then something that's useful, like a book, or a new bag for school, or a new something practical. That is what the sort of main guidelines are. you know 3 to 5 presents. That's it from Santa and the family. The rest comes from the wider family and friends, or nothing at all, depending on what you've got, family and friends. But the key is not to overindulge, because by overindulging, you're getting yourself into debt. If Leah Garcia was here, she'd be saying, no, do not get yourself into debt, because you'll be carrying it on until next Christmas, right? Do not do that. Then the next one is, if you can make an experience yourself or create something that's fun, that isn't a huge stress. You can do it with your partner, your husband, plan something together that you could all go and do, even if it's a walk along the beach, that you don't normally do as a family, because you normally, one does this, one does that. Or you go and do a sporting something together. Just turn something away from a gift, away from electronics, away from everybody going in different directions. As soon as they've put the last mouthful of the dessert in, and they're off. Instead of allowing that to happen, you have a game of cards around the table. You clear the table and you play Uno or something, but you get the whole family involved. That is something that's really come up in all these studies about re-engagement with your family. Crucial.
You're on mute, Annie.
You're gonna wish I stayed on mute. Can I say drink? I can't say drink.
You can have
Uh,
festive beverages.
yes.
You can have a few festive beverages.
It's have enough of it. Look, it's only one day, people. I will never understand why people argue at Christmas. I don't get it. I've never done it in my house. Not once. When I go to other people's houses, not once. Why do people save the argument for Christmas Day? I don't understand.
That's
It's
probably
one,
when they're seeing the person for the first time for the year.
yeah, but resolve it. Like, argue it before that. Don't wait for Christmas. Christmas is one day that you get to eat and relax and have fun. I don't, to have to do anything else is lunacy, if you ask me. Yes, I can understand, the meeting for the first time. There's lots of things to do, but we just need you to get through the day. Get through the day. That's all you got to do. So that's at 12, finishes at 12, right? That's the way I look at it. That's it. It's not that deep.
I don't make you wrong, Annie. I don't make you wrong, because I think that if you're carrying a burden or some sort of issue or trauma that is bothering you from whenever, deal with it before, definitely.
Yes.
Or
That's
say
it.
we'll deal with it after.
Yes.
But one day we just
Mm.
don't talk about it. We just choose to park it, because
I
we can
agree.
be grown ups.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if the beverages are flowing, we tend to retreat to our younger
Mm.
self, where we're
Mm.
not quite so in control of our mouths, and then that's when the trouble happens. So yeah, there are lots of people that say Christmas is so traumatic because it brings back memories of when Uncle Joe hit Uncle Sam and then threw him through the patio doors. And you're like, oh, that kind of Christmas. I've seen that on EastEnders. I've seen it on the telly. I've never witnessed it. But yeah, I know those things really happen, but they've never happened in my life. There might have been the occasional argument about the person who was the greediest, like, why did you take 8 roast potatoes when there's like, why not wait and have a few and then come back for more? Why stand there going, under, under, under? And you're like, 8 roast potatoes, really? But I've gone, "Whoop, stum. If there's not enough left at the end of the day, I'm going to just put my fork in their plate and take one back." And I would do that because I would think that was pure greed and gluttony. But there are people who are that greedy, and I've been witness to that, and I've gone, really? But I've found myself biting my tongue, say nothing. I'm sure there's enough. But, Auntie Bessie can only do so much. 2 big packets in the air fryer and they're still woofing them. And you're thinking, well, there ain't going to be no leftovers for tomorrow. But you have to just bite your tongue, say nothing, let it go. And then when they start pouring the gravy over my roast potatoes, I'm like, I'm not putting my fork in now. They can keep them. They're sort of swimming on their plates. But you're laughing, Annie. But I watched the roast potatoes thinking, any minute now I'm going in with my fork. And it's too late. They're swimming around the plate. And I'm like, wow. But greed is a big issue. And you know that there's ample for everyone if everyone's not a greedy pig.
That's
But
what I'm thinking, Paulette. There's enough for everyone, even if they
yeah,
are greedy pigs.
hey,
You're
now
trying to think, you're
now
trying
I
to think
make
of turkey.
now I make enough food for like a family of 12, and there's
There
8
you
of us,
go.
or there's 6 of us, and it's whatever it is, 7 of us. There's a table, there's enough food because I've seen people, another one, another one. You're like, are you absolutely serious? And then the legs, who's having the turkey legs? Well, the poor turkey only had two, you know? And if 4 people want the turkey leg, we're in trouble. So it's like flicking a coin for the turkey leg. I'm like, I can't be doing with this. So Charles battered and killed my turkey. I told the story. And it ended up being some sort of like road traffic kill, it was awful. And so I said you'll never again get the opportunity to do that to my beautiful big turkey that ended up this little round thing with about 15 hedgehog, you know, um, cocktail sticks in to hold the skin in. And it just like a frigging hedgehog. And I was like, I can't put that on my platter. So I had to carve it before. And there wasn't that much meat. And some was, where are the legs? I might ask your son. Ask your son where the bloody legs are, you know? And that was the only time Charles and I have ever had a real, like, blow up. Was because in my head I'd got this platter, the turkey, the potatoes. I'd got this thing happening that I'd seen on, the telly and thought, oh, that'd look amazing. And I bought this massive, great platter. And I got this roadkill, and it was like, and a hedgehog at that. And I was like, I can't put that on my platter. I wanted to kill him. I
Oh my
swear
God.
that was the first time I wanted to kill my husband. But since
Uh,
then, I've only ever bought a turkey crown. And it just shows you that whatever he did, he got in my head. And I've never bought a turkey since. So, no
You're
legs.
traumatized.
No legs. I was traumatized. No legs. That's
oh
it.
my
We don't have
God.
any arguments because there aren't none. So there you go.
Turkey,
Okay. If,
turkey
if you all
trauma.
if you all want the
Take
full
from
story of what Paulette is talking about, go to my profile on LinkedIn and go back to the last the last event, the last LinkedIn live. I'll put a link to this one as well. It was a hell of a story. But you brought up something important there. That idea you had in your head of this grand thing. And I think women, we do that a lot. We have this picture, this perfect idea of what Christmas Day should be and how it should be laid out. And my question is, who are we doing this for? Because the persons that are coming over don't really care. Like you said, they're all about the roast potatoes. If you have roast potatoes and gravy, they're good. And we've put so much stress on ourselves to make it perfect and have it this picture perfect. Okay, so after you take the picture, then what? What are people remembering? They're probably remembering your roast potatoes and how great it tastes, and they don't really care about this turkey that you had, this picture perfect thing. So a lot of times when we're talking about reducing that stress, who is coming over to our home? What do they really like? If it's all about the roast potatoes and turkey legs, then I suggest just buying that and focusing on that and having enough for everyone, making extra because you know they love it. And I would say them going back for thirds and fourths and fifths is a testament to your cooking. They obviously really love your roast potatoes. And I know it's a thing in England, though that roasted potatoes thing, I know it's a thing. So maybe your table is just a lot of roast potatoes, a side salad, and turkey legs. And you save yourself that stress of creating this big banquet and people ruining it. And then also look at, okay, who is coming over? Okay, I know Aunt Betty is going to take a lot of food. Let me offer to take out the food for Aunt Betty. Aunt Betty, you have a seat. You have a glass of wine. Let me bring this for you. Or maybe have someone serving the food, right? So you set it up where, okay, you make sure everyone gets, and then, well, whatever is left, have at it. Make sure you put away whatever you need for tomorrow because I know everybody looks forward to Boxing Day leftovers. So portion it out, put away yours that you're going to have for tomorrow. You either have a server or you just make a lot extra because roast potato, they love your roast potatoes. So make like 10 batches of that and forget everything else. I think we need to figure out, okay, who is coming over? What do they really want? Maybe ask them before, what do you really want? What are you looking forward to? Ask them to bring over whatever else. Make them bring over the pecan pie or the pumpkin pie or whatever it is. And you just focus on, I mean, it may be tedious and boring, but they love your roast potatoes. That's what they're coming for. You've made their Christmas if I have Paulette's roast potatoes and gravy and a turkey leg. So that's what I would focus on. And I would plan for that way before so that I am not stressed over it. And listen, it's the same thing here. And you're talking one day, we have Christmas for the week. We're eating for the week. People are coming over every day. We have family coming over, different types of family every day, and then we have to prepare for what we call the parang singers, right? You all have carolers, we have people who sing parang, and you have to feed them. Once they come to your home and sing, the tradition is you feed them. So we have to cook food for the week, which is extremely stressful. But again, what are people looking for? What are their favorites? So for us, it's something called pastel, which is similar to what the Mexican tamales. So it's a cornmeal sort of thing with mincemeat inside. It's very delicious, but it's only made at Christmas time. That's what people want. So I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy more of those instead of the other things because I know, okay, when people come over, they want a little like the festive drink, as Annie said, and a pastel and maybe some ham or something like that. I'm gonna keep it simple, but keep it to what do they really want. I think we need to move away from that grand idea of the they talked about the gluttony and the expense because that's another issue we have in the Caribbean as well. We call January guava season. Guava is you say guava, is a tree that grows when it's dry, all the leaves drop off. So it looks very bare and look very scanty, right? So we call January guava season because nobody has money. We've all spent it over Christmas. We've repainted our houses. We've bought curtains. We've bought new dishes. Why, I don't know. But everything has to be new. And January, we have no money. We need to move away from that because, again, my dad used to say, who are you buying this for? Christmas is for children. We don't care about new curtains and paint, and we want one toy, and then the younger they are, they don't even care about the toy. They end up playing with the box. I've watched my 3-year-old niece, my family bought her all these beautiful gifts, and she played with the boxes and the wrapping paper. I was like, you all could have saved so much money. She doesn't care. I entertained her by tearing the paper, and she was so happy to hear the noise. It's like we need to move away from that excess, and what is the season really about? It's about joy, it's about coming together to spend time with family, probably haven't seen all year, go back to that. And I think coming from a place of love and gratitude, that's where you reduce that stress. And of course, a festive drink every. No,
Definitely the festive drink. I know that there was just an aside that happened, and I thought it was a really clever idea, and it won't cost very much money, but a few rolls of wrapping paper just across the door to where your tree is, so that the entrance to where the Christmas tree is and where the presents are is hidden by just rolls of wrapping paper just taped to the
that's a
top
good
of the
idea.
door. And so, as the children, they can't see anything. They don't know if Santa's been, and it's all very exciting. And then they burst through the paper.
Oh, that is so much fun.
That's so much fun that is now become a tradition in their house. And their kids are like older, and she's still doing it because that was something she did when they were
Yeah.
younger. If she
And
didn't do it,
that is the experience you're creating for them. And
it
that is
and
what
and
they're going
it's
to remember.
and they're going to do that when they have children, because
Yes.
it's the sort of thing that carries on. And she said 2 rolls of wrapping paper, is nothing, and yet that is the bit they remember every year. That moment
Yeah.
when they're to see if Santa's been. I think she said they were 18 and coming up 17, and they still wanted her to do it. And she was, "Are you
Okay.
serious?" Like, yeah, I want to do
Let's
it.
be
You've got to do
adults.
it. You still got to do it because, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
That's our tradition. And I think that those kind of traditions don't cost very much money, but you change an atmosphere. You suddenly make it all about fun and not all about the money and the debt and the panic. And because they're older, we had the conversation about the one gift rule, So she was going to get them what they really had to ask for. And
Yeah.
then she was going to do something together as an experience. And then she was going to get them something for uni and for school. So she got the real clear pattern that this was the way it was going to be, because an Amazon voucher in the UK, you can buy anything from Amazon. And so
Yeah.
if you're
Exactly.
at university, it's perfect because you can get whatever you need when you need
Yeah.
it. So that's a great, useful gift as opposed to cash that you will probably spend on beer, right? You can't buy
Yeah.
beer
Yeah.
from Amazon. So that was a good idea. And then for the daughter, she decided that she's always asking for Spotify and an extra uh extra space on her phone, because she's all running out of data. So she was going to get a package so that she could see that she got so much data extra and so
Okay.
much whatever. So
Yeah.
it was a very practical thing. And I think that we sort of need to get our heads into that position of coming away from the piles of clothes that they don't need or want. We don't
And they
need to
came in
buy
any
pants
case.
and socks. They
Yeah.
hate.
Nobody likes clothes.
Nobody wants pants and socks. Nobody wants a perfume that you like, but they don't.
Yeah.
Nobody wants 15 hand creams. I got about 10 diffusers one year, and I was like, I know my house smells nice, but that's taking it too far.
Yeah. That's too much.
It's just people were like, we don't know what to get you, so we know you like your diffusers. And I'd be like, yeah, but
Yeah, but I
okay,
already have a diffuser. Why do I?
I
Why
couldn't,
do I
I
need
couldn't.
another one?
I couldn't say that, so I just smiled sweetly and went, put it in the cupboard. It'll come in handy. I'll never buy another diffuser again for probably 3 or 4 years. Um, but the point is, I had 4 pairs of leather gloves one year, and because of what I do with comfort cases, I kept a pair of black, a pair of brown, and gave two to the charity, to help out with for the kids that have got nothing. A couple of pairs of gloves, a pair of leather gloves is a lovely gift. And I just think that we have to think about the reality of what is important is enjoying the day, making the changes subtle changes, like you said. If we focus on the potatoes, because we know that's a thing, or in Annie's house, it might be the eggnog, or it might be the special vodka, the drink. You know, we have mulled wine over here. So, you know, the mulled wine is something that's pretty big. You get the mulled wine boiling and bubbling and whatever. You know, maybe that's kind of part of the day. You make it a new tradition that when everyone comes in, they get their mulled wine. They don't usually have that, but hey, let's get them happy before we even start the meal. Give them a drink, you know, welcome, welcome, have a mulled wine. Just change the mood, and it will be somber if someone's not there who was there before, who was there normally and isn't now because they're ill or they've died. And it's horrible, but you have to have this mental ability to say it's Christmas and I want to still make it right for my family and for myself. You have the right to enjoy the day. You've worked hard for it. Give yourself a day off. You can think about that person tomorrow, but today try and make it about the family. And if you can do that, it takes a huge amount of mental capacity to do that. But
Yeah.
I think if you do, it's so kind to yourself. Um, I think it's one of the kindest things you can do is give yourself a break, you know, on anything. Like you said, whether you focus on the potatoes and the turkey legs, whether you're focusing on the different table arrangements or going to your sisters instead of them coming to you, or whatever you do to swap it up and make life just a little bit easier, everybody wins. Everybody around the table wins.
Yeah.
Totally
And
agree. Agree.
you
Agree.
agree?
Yeah, no, that's look. Let me make it easier. Now, if you want to cheer the men up, I have no arguments. Put sports on TV. Just leave them to it. Just leave it there. They'll keep watching that, and they can argue with themselves over the sport if they care that much. But they definitely won't. You know.
Yeah.
And that the turkey leg thing apparently is a thing. I'm saying buy 2 turkeys.
Or just buy turkey legs.
Yes.
They
You
sell
can just
turkey
buy
legs as a
extra legs,
just buy
In
the
my
exactly.
legs.
house, no one eats the turkey legs. By the way, we avoid that bit. We're like, no. No, my wife tells me it's too fatty. That's why. Anyway, let's go through the comments. Our friends have joined us eventually, Lisa. They're
Yes.
here now. Of course, if you're on our YouTube, we're glad you're here. Please like today's video, subscribe. Well, comment first and then subscribe if you
Yes,
haven't
let
done
us
so already.
know. Leave a comment so we could
Yeah.
see you because otherwise we can't see who is here.
And play some more videos while you're there. By the way, play some. Lisa has shorts. I don't have shorts. I just have videos. Just press play and leave your phone play and walk away, and then when you come back, like it, comment, and then on to the next. Right,
Yes.
Lisa, not Lisa, Natalie. We see you. Thank you for joining us. My sister Annie, how you doing? Annie never asks at Christmas because she tends to spend her Christmas in her peace. So that's one thing I definitely think. Glad you're here. Oh, it's only who else has made it. Who else has made it here? I saw other people.
I like the comments.
Miss Noni.
Oh, that's Noni, yes.
Yeah, Miss Noni's here. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. What does Anne say? Yorkshire puds, vegetable stuffing is mine. It's my go-to. So I remember the story for Let. Yes. So Coach K says she loves Lisa's voice and your accent as well. Okay, let's go. So waste not, want not. I'm not be bothered. It just shows your cooking is delicious indeed.
Yeah, that's my takeaway. Everyone loves your roasted potatoes, so you need to do more roasted potatoes. That's what I'm hearing. The crowd loves roasted potatoes. Forget everything else.
Mm.
Feed the people what they want.
Yeah. Natalie said it's all about vegetables in our household. Yeah, with the vegetables, and then we'll hurry up onto the other things. And the quality streaks. I mean, that's there for that's there, right? I'll tell you what does me at Christmas. We don't argue about it. I just bitch about it and cry and then walk away. The crackers. What's with crackers? Why don't they put anything useful in them? I don't
Yeah, that's
understand.
a UK thing because I
We've
don't
had a
understand it
lifetime.
either.
Fix the crack. Just put that. However expensive crackers you buy, you're still gonna get stupid key rings and the stupid plastic cards. Like, why? You know, we bought Fortnite Mason crackers for that. I will still get rubbish in there. Rubbish. Total rubbish. You're like, what the hell? It's not me. So her mum likes Fortnite Mason and Harrods. But I'm like, they could just put something nice in there, something useful. I don't know what exactly, anything. But you keep getting junk. Don't buy the crackers. You know, I get wound up, right?
Any
And,
shift to your right a bit.
and they say, okay, and no, left to my left.
No, to your sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. And I know what I need to do, but I never do it. So
Yeah,
Annie
I'm looking
says,
at the
I
recording.
just love Boxing Day bubble and squeak. That's when you mix everything together, right? All the
Is
leftovers
that what
all
it's
together.
called? Bubble and squeak?
Yep, that's what it is in this country. You mash it all together, then you create bubble and squeak, right? For that.
Yeah, that's the potatoes and the greens and I usually add a leek or two. And then just you put it in a pan with a bit of oil and you just kind of turn it like a Spanish omelette, like a
Okay.
potato fritter, I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
term. And then
Okay.
you put a plate on it, turn it over, and then cook the other
On the
side,
other
and
side.
you
Okay.
cut it into pieces, and people go nuts for it. I mean, really nuts.
Yeah, that sounds
Crispier the
delicious.
better, you know. You have to have a lot of mashed potatoes, so that's normally I don't. I usually buy extra mash just to do it because the people in my family are big on potatoes. Yeah, big.
I
So
eat
I buy
potatoes
extra
are good,
mash
okay?
for Boxing
Potatoes
Day
are healthy.
leftovers.
And they're from across the sea, right? That's what it is for that. I know what I just said. Anyway, like I like Annie's idea. I'm sure you said it already. You know, make extra, but and ask others to bring something that you can share. Why is it all on you to buy everything? You know, they're going to bring me the food that they haven't eaten at home and bring drink.
We always do that. Boxing Day is our best friends bring over their leftovers. We add it to our leftovers, and we make up a feast of leftovers. And there'll be like somebody will have half a chocolate Yule log, and somebody else will have half a Christmas pudding, and then we just make do and amend. And I think that is it's almost more fun because it's like you don't know what they're gonna bring, and obviously there'll be extra tatties because there's gotta be, but the thing that we said, making the bubble and squeak and stuff, it's all about making it the fun day because there's no pressure day.
Mm.
It's like the pressure's been taken off and you can just relax. I think that's so
Great,
important.
great, I agree. Yeah, and another great tip from Annie: now let others help with the cooking and serving. It's not on. I ain't doing any of that stuff, right? I'm just not. What does Annie say? We'll put talc down and use big shoes and sprinkle glitter about, and you
Okay.
can make Christmas curtains. That's a bit much of my liking. I'm a simple guy. All I want to do is play my game. That's what I'm gonna do. That's not the chance I get. I'm going. So Natalie says, warming potatoes and leek soup. Plant-based toad in the hole. That's a bit. You ruined toad in the hole with that. What? I can't even think.
That's
Tangine.
interesting.
What's that? Fresh sage and onion stuffing balls. Yeah, I'll take that. Much
I
better if you
think
have meat.
Natalie needs to put
If you
some
had meat
recipes in the
ones.
comments on
Dark
LinkedIn.
chocolate? No, not just have normal mousse. Have vanilla mousse, and I don't have dark chocolate.
Ignore any, okay? Ignore any. Dark chocolate mousse is where it's at, okay? I've never had
Same
it in
ginger
person. It
sprinkle.
sounds good.
Less,
That's
less of
okay.
that. Less of that. So I delegate my food preparation between my young people and myself. So up to 3 days, before the main event, so everyone they know what they're going to be doing. Expectation and time management are important. How long do you not get for Christmas? It's one day. By the time I turn around, it's 3:30. When it's 3:30, it's going to be 10 o'clock soon, and Christmas is done. Yeah, well, that's normally I'm waking up for my second meal back then. That's why I know the times, right? Jay, welcome to tomorrow's stories. Glad you're here. Glad you found your way. Is anyone else who's here? Right. You can't tell from my profile pic, but this is Jay. Hey, Nicholas and Lisa. We can tell, Jay. Anyone who's read Jay's book knows that he's Mr. Tomorrow, right? People who kept messaging me saying, "There's a typo in the book." I'm like, no, there's no typo in the book. He's way, that's his language, that's his place. So I know what you mean, Jay. Yeah. Look, again, to our YouTube friends, do the right thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Yay. Lisa, we're going to benefit from this anyway, right? We're going to gain now. We're going to gain which hours. We're going to gain.
That people are here and engaged.
Yes.
Although I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you hearing?
Yeah, every so often there's a sharp noise somewhere. I don't know who it is.
I'm getting it right too, so I don't know why.
What did someone say? Make your own crackers. I like that. What do I put in it?
That's a tradition, yeah.
A bake or tart as well. I put that in one of mine. I want nice things. Anyway.
But we had a question. What do you do on Christmas Day, Annie, in the kitchen? What do you do besides eat? I think the answer is eat.
I'm looking. I'm thinking.
Eat, drink, sleep, football.
Play his
No, just game. No, game. There's no sport on TV naturally.
It's Boxing Day, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm not even this year, Paul. So there's no football Boxing Day this year. There's one game. So we're going to be looking at our family and going, we're bored. No, and I might do gravy if I don't like the look of the gravy. If I don't think it's thick enough, I might put some more gravy on that I want. No, but then we have many other things that you're saying, Lisa. We have stew, we have lamb, we have this, we have that.
Yeah.
I don't cook it. I just get to enjoy it and eat some. I come and get some more.
So do you actually have a roast, Annie?
Yeah.
The roast as well?
Yeah, I just told my son there's no turkey, and he's like, "What the hell? I'm going to fight someone then." We expect we always get a normal Christmas meal. Even when people come visiting, I think you can almost afford to ignore them half the time. I think it's your Christmas. They're coming to your space to come and interrupt your Christmas. I said, we don't put that for others. We just do what we do normally. They have to sort of blend in. That's where I said that's just how it is, because they're gonna go home and have their Christmas later on anyway. So why should we sacrifice our happiness for anyone? So all this trying to make it perfect for everyone. Stop that. Make it perfect for you. If that's you, do nothing. Be like Annie. Yay.
So I know time is almost up, but I wanted to ask a question. So we talked a lot about dealing with family, but what about those who don't have family? So people may have passed, or they don't live anywhere near family, so they are alone for Christmas. So I just wanted to touch on what can we do if we're spending the holidays without any close friends or family near to us.
I've got some suggestions on that,
Yes,
because I've
please.
got people who are in the UK and can't fly home because it's too expensive. So they're here for studying, like at university or doing their PhD or whatever. So there's a scheme at the university where you can adopt somebody for Christmas. So you can, they can come to your house and you sort of adopt them for Christmas. And the family of the person will contribute in some way to the festivities, if you have that as an option. Certainly in terms of older people who are alone and are feeling very lost, a lot of churches do Christmas dinners for people who are on their own. And then the thing that I've recommended to people is to actually volunteer themselves at soup kitchens, at these places that cook meals for, you know, the elderly or those that can't, are unable anymore to do it for themselves or are homeless. And, you know, we have a huge place, Centre Point in London. Um, and 2 years I did that. I went on, worked there. And it's massive. I mean, it's a real operation like you've never seen. And because the chefs are in the kitchen, they're proper chefs who give up their Christmas, which is just, I mean, some of them are famous as well. And it's such a lovely thing that they do. I mean, it's obviously a lot of PR and all the rest of it, but I was just on collecting plates. That was all I was given as a job. I had a trolley and I collected plates, and I just was happy to do it. But as fast as we took one lot of plates in for the dishwashing end, there'd be another lot coming out ready to be fed. And we fed thousands. I mean, I think over 2 days, I think it was like 4,500 meals were either served or prepared for people to go out delivering. And I just thought that was a phenomenal thing to do. And so when people have said to me, "What do I do? I'm on my own, I'm this, I'm that, I'm lonely, I'm lost," I say, go volunteer, go do something useful, because I found it extremely rewarding. Um, Even if I only just pushed a trolley around collecting plates and knives and forks, I was doing something. I was contributing to the day, and then I got to sit down and enjoy a meal with a group of people who I didn't know, and I got to know. And all I could hear was yes, chef, no, chef, yes, chef, no, chef. And I was thinking, I'm glad I'm not that bloody kitchen. They were just shouting at each other. But we were outside just doing the rubbish jobs, emptying the dishwashers, filling the dishwashers, collecting the plates. But it was a streamlined thing that they'd been doing for years and years. It's so well oiled. And most of the food is donated, which is just wonderful that that's what happens. So, I would say to anyone in any country in the world, there will be a church, a facility, a homeless place, a refuge. There'll be some place that you can go and volunteer, help others. It gives you a huge lift, and you'll probably meet people that will be friends for life, and they'll say, "Are you coming back next year?" Right? And you sit and have a meal with people that you've bonded with in this environment. And I've actually got two people on my phone that I still, only occasional messages, but from when I did that 30 years ago. So, it just shows you that you really do get something back from giving. And that's a really good way of giving back your time, getting something back yourself, feeling like you've done something that's rewarding, and making a feeling of accomplishment, and not sitting in a room on your own, feeling sad, feeling lonely, eating your turkey leg if you bought one, making 3 roast potatoes and being sad and lonely. Why do that? Or drinking yourself into a stupor. Why do that? Why not go out, volunteer, do something useful,
She doesn't mean you,
valuable?
Annie. I see the guilty look on your face. She
I thought you
might
might
find a way
notice.
to
I
exclude
was
you.
like, doesn't that sound like fun? I'd say drink myself into this.
It was. It was amazing fun.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Game
I
for
think
that.
you both of you are talking about two different things.
Yeah,
I first,
Annie, put your little finger up. Put your little finger up a moment. I got something to ask you. Right, that little finger is the level of compassion in that man. Right? So ignore any, okay? That's his
yeah,
It's
I
very
compassion.
used
small.
to, I
There's
used to
another
power
finger
entertainment,
coming. Yeah.
okay?
That's
So
quite a
be
lot. That's quite a lot. I must
That's
say.
a lot of compassion. So if you are going to be on your own and you don't
Mm,
have anywhere to go, being with other people is the
mm,
best way to make that occasion work for you. And
agree.
that can be in a church group or a small refuge, or even just volunteering, as I said, at the homeless shelters and places, or like a big facility like Centrepoint. But that is a very big well-oiled machine, and there are film crews there, and it really is a little bit um dare I say monetized, and there are cameras, crews there. The BBC will probably do a piece on it, so no wonder we get the chefs in there doing their bit. But even if they stay for 1 hour, that's 1 hour of their time that they gave up um for the reason they did it, then that's good enough for me. So I just think there are things that people can do. Do not be on your own. Do not sit there and think you are uncared for and you have no value, because that is a slippery slope to either getting very drunk, doing something that is completely out of character, or worse still, ending up in a psych ward because you've attempted something horrendous like suicide. So there really is something to be said for being with people. And that, to me, pushing that trolley round was far more fun in the end, laughing and joking at the appalling cracker jokes and, all the things that we did. Also, I was walking around with this paper crown on my head and pushing my trolley, and I'd got a proper apron on. And I was like, look at me, I'm part of the team. Excuse me. It's really important, really important.
Yeah. Look, again, so as Annie says, there are community centres that are open and there's many places open on Christmas Day. There are restaurants that do Christmas meals, by the way. So that they are there. What Paul is talking about there, the center point thing, that is normally the best Christmas meal you're probably going to see. But there's always Deliveroo. You can have Christmas meal delivered to you at home. You really can.
But Ellie, being on your own sometimes can be the worst thing, because everything goes through your mind about what everybody else is doing. The
Mm.
expectation that everyone's having the perfect Christmas where there isn't a big fight and no one's arguing over the bloody turkey legs and nobody's being greedy over the potatoes. They don't think about that. They just think about being sad and lonely. And being out with people is a far better option.
And this is,
And the idea is simply make a plan before Christmas.
yeah,
Work out who you're gonna spend a Christmas with. I mean, if there's one lonely person, there's another one. I'm saying, no, ask your friends. Who does want company.
and
That's
this is
that.
the time that there's something called seasonal affective disorder. The daylight
Mm,
is shorter, we're having more dark days, it gets darker quicker. So your vitamin D levels drop, and vitamin D is directly linked to your mood. And then on top of that, if you're going through menopause, your hormonal fluctuations also trigger anxiety and depression. So it's no wonder that around this time of year, suicidal rates are higher, right? So it's expected because of natural physical things. So you don't want to get into that trap of, as Paulette said, everyone else is having this wonderful Christmas and I'm alone, I don't have anyone. I think if we come from a place again of love and gratitude, and okay, I have a home, I have food, but there are people out there that don't. How can I help? I have a lot of free time on my hands. I don't have to prepare a big meal for family that's coming over. I have extra time. How can I use that time? And no matter how small your town is, there's always a church, there's always
yeah.
some sort of hospital, and there's always like a school or community center that you could reach out to and ask, are there places I can volunteer? Last meeting we had, no meeting, last LinkedIn Live we had, I remember Trito talking about not having cooking skills. But a lot of these places, the cooking is taken care of. The persons to dish out the food is taken care of. What they need help with is washing dishes, getting it back to the kitchen, cleaning up. They need tremendous, as Paulette said, a load comes in and a load is already going out because it's a lot of turnover. So you can spend your time in the kitchen with other people washing dishes. I mean, it's not a glamorous job, but because of you, someone is getting a clean plate to have a hot meal, something that they wouldn't have otherwise. So I think we need to really see volunteerism as, if I can volunteer one day every Christmas, I think the more people that think like that and do that, your town is better, your community is better, and then you yourself, as you get to meet friends. Maybe if you go back Easter, there are other times that you can volunteer. You never know what it could turn into. And I think a simple thing as Christmas Day, Boxing Day, find out when they need the most help. Usually they have a schedule. Get on that schedule and volunteer your time. I don't want to be home. Let's go out and meet other people and volunteer your time. Another thing, I think the last session someone talked about having dinner over Zoom. So we have a lot of children who are away at university. So having a time where you set up a Zoom meeting and you have dinner over that time, I think is a brilliant idea, especially when flights are so expensive and most of them get cancelled anyway because of the snow. So let's have a Zoom dinner and maybe have a Zoom dinner and then go out to volunteer somewhere. I think that is so brilliant. It leads me to a question that Natalie asked earlier. What advice do you have for those in the healthcare system who have to work during Christmas? So, any advice on how they can reduce their stress? Or, I think volunteering your time and working over the Christmas season, yes, it may be stressful. Yes, you may want to be at home with your own family, but I think the bigger picture is you are giving of your time to help someone else, and I think that is so commendable. It may be stressful and I know it's overworked and underpaid, but I think again, coming from a place of gratitude, I am here and someone else will benefit from it. And maybe, okay, I could have dinner over the weekend with my family or make some other arrangements, but I think the staff there should also have a plan on a moment of joy. So whether it's meeting in the cafeteria for cafeteria sandwiches, okay, it's not the best thing, or you do some sort of potluck and make easy things that you could bring and pastries or whatever it is to have a moment of joy to celebrate. Okay, you all are there, you all are friends, you all are giving back to the community, but you're finding a moment of joy for yourself as well.
My foster brother is a policeman, and so they always try to give the younger children's dads or mums the Christmas off, and then those with the older children they work. So it kind of swings and roundabouts. So if you haven't got children or whatever, the same goes for the hospitals as well. But when I was in hospital in January, we were talking about Christmas, and they were saying one of the nurses said, "We just move it." And I'm not. I'm sorry. She said, "We have Christmas on Boxing Day. I work Christmas Day, and we actually have our Christmas the day after. Everybody does the same thing in our family for me, and so the same things happened at New Year with my foster brother. He got Christmas off, but he has to work New Year. New Year's in the UK is not a great time. There's a lot of punch ups, a lot of drunk people, a lot of craziness goes on. Um, and then we would do New Year on the 2nd. So, it's just about being able to, if you work, I think majority of the nurses and the doctors and everybody works. If you are in the hospital at that time, especially with children's hospitals, there are so many kind people that will go in and do the Santa comes round for a visit, and then they get a meal, and then the people that work there get a meal, and there's like a canteen, and they'll do extra food so everyone gets a meal on Christmas Day or whatever. Um, Somebody goes around with trays of food and whatever. But the big problem we had was chocolate, because so many people have got all these lactose intolerance, or I can only have this or only have that. So by the time I said to Charles, buy a load of biscuits and chocolates for the nurses, and then it was like, oh, I can't eat wheat, I'm this and I'm this and I'm that. And in the end, you just felt like you ungrateful sods, just I tried. um so now, for my friends that I used to work with, I'm literally buying vegan chocolates. I'm buying chocolates that are lactose free. I've got to have the ones that have got no wheat in them, and I've got, and then there's the this and the that. I ended up buying about, I don't know, 10 boxes of chocolates, and I ended up going to a proper chocolate manufacturer company to buy all this chocolate, so that I made sure that every box was sealed and labeled, written on it. And I'm like,
That sounds so stressful.
oh, but I did it. I did it ready. I did it in November.
Oh
When
my
they came
God.
to take me out, I went out last Friday with the MD and the CEO. They came down, took me out for dinner, so out for lunch. And there was a big box all done up, ribbon, bows, labels, Christmas card on it, to all the staff at the company from the Hallam family. And they were like, whoa, who's going to have to carry that into the bloody office? And I was like, you just sit on a train and look busy, don't worry about it. And Jonesy's got the shortest journey. He got the job of carrying the chocolates. But the point was, that's the only way that I can give back to all the people I used to work with, because I don't want to speak to everyone. I don't want to send everyone a Christmas card and get 30 cards back. I sent one Christmas card to everyone. Here's the chocolates, put them in the kitchen. Those that need whatever they need will be there, right? I've covered all the bases. Enjoy. But I organized it October, November. So it was out of my head, ready, done, boxed, sorted, wrapped, labeled. All I had to do is make something to put on the front. And I feel like that's the part of me that I try to pass on to other people, which is try and be prepared earlier and earlier in the year. I buy Christmas presents in the January sales. Now that sounds crazy, but you'll buy something that's got like makeup or perfume that would have cost £100 for 25 or 35. And when that person opens that bottle of perfume the next year, they'll be like, whoa, you spent that much money on me? Whoa, you must really like me. And you're like, yeah, I did. They don't know. You don't have to say anything, you just smile. But the point is, that's smart. If you can save a bit of money for January, or in January use a bit of the money that you would have used for Christmas but didn't, then get the stuff in the sales. And any opportunity during that year, if something is reduced and you're going to be able to use it practically for someone, pick it up, put it in the trolley, save it. I think that there's a real thing about preparation that we've talked about today, and that is taking the pressure off, and being prepared is everything.
I say I agree when Paulette speaks, right? Anyway, so I like this. Jay says people go around singing Christmas carols to first responders in their facilities and hospitals. Others bring food from home. Instead of throwing away leftovers, bring a plate to a first responder on theirs. Like, as Paulette says here, you might get beaten up. You might get accused of trying to poison someone if you're not careful. Just buy a box of grapes. That's what I would do. There's grapes. There's oranges. Enjoy
Yeah,
that.
I think when Paulette was talking about the different chocolates, because yes, everybody is allergic to something these days. A
Mm.
lot of food intolerances, a lot of people are going vegan. So I prefer to like buy a fruit basket and let them share it.
Mm,
Or even you could buy flowers and
mm,
give. I mean, but it, again, it depends on how many people you're buying and the kind of relationship you're talking about.
mm.
Yeah, I would prefer to buy like flowers and talk to everybody and wish them a Merry Christmas and give them a flower. But again, do what works for you. But planning is everything
Mm.
because you using these sales. I'm a big. I love a
Nice.
good sale. And
Yeah, that's
you know,
it.
you have the Black Friday sales, and Amazon is pretty great with their sales. So knowing the person, you know what they like. Keep I put it in my cart, and when the price drops, you buy it, right? So it takes a little bit of planning, but if again, coming from a place of love and gratitude, okay, I want this person to have this gift. I've my hours have been cut. I don't make as much money as I used to. How can I work around that? And if
That's
you
it.
have older children and you can't afford certain things, let them know. The
Mm.
economy is hard. Don't fill them with these expectations of they're getting 4 or 5 gifts. No. Dad lost his
Have
job.
you have you seen what kids do these days? Which I think is a Mickey take. Like it's
With that.
they go to shops and they reserve their list in the shops and then they show you online. So you have to log into the shop app or the website. Then you see
Like
your
a
then
wedding
you, then you, then,
registry.
then you see your nephew's list. Your child's list, and
Um,
there's whole hundreds of things that have
if
different
if
hundreds of
that
prices.
works for you, great.
It doesn't work for me.
Uh,
It's very annoying. I'm going for the cheapest stuff, but then you find that someone's already bought that. Now you're stuck with. Are you
yeah,
with me?
to me
No, you see how this works.
that is moving away from what. So I'm just buying stuff. I may as
Yeah,
well just give you an Amazon card and say here.
yeah, I agree with it. Again, that we're trying to do too much. That's what this comes down to,
Yeah.
right?
But some people's
Yeah.
love languages are gifts. So
Yeah,
if
but then make them smaller. So
Hmm.
so if they want 10 gifts because that's the magic number for them, then let's give them 10 gifts, but make them smaller gifts. Make them, one lipstick and one this, one that, one the other. You don't have to buy a makeup set. You don't have to
Hmm.
give. I think the problem we have, the expectations are so high, and the kids do these like Christmas hauls and what I got for
Hmm.
Christmas, and they're all
yeah,
comparing, and there's all this horrible
it's all
comparison.
about content too, because most of it is just to put online to get followers and likes, and it's like. But as you said that, making the gifts smaller, a lot of places are doing advent calendars now. So if your person is into makeup, then get them. And it's something fun. It doesn't, some of them are really expensive, so it's like no. But you get some good places where they have with chocolates. I saw one doing whiskey. So there are different price ranges, but you can get something that the person is really interested in and make it fun.
You're doing too much. Here's why. Look, Annie, I'm with you. I've been on my own at Christmas before and cooked my own dinner. Yeah, I did. I chose to be on it alone. I chose not to go anywhere. But the day goes so quick. Anyway, there's either that or you can work, as Annie says on Christmas Day, or move to Australia. There's social media for kids.
Oh,
Yay! Like the reason I say
yeah,
that is
but it's
this.
Australia.
No,
That is
no,
it.
no, no, no. Look, no. Our Australian kids going to be more miserable than our kids. No, the social media thing is it's a crazy way to be. And we just see the adults in my family always say buy your own. Go and buy
Yeah,
your
I
own.
think the older you are,
Don't buy me
get
something. I don't
serious.
want to know. That's why I said move to Australia for the kids. The social media is the thing. It's been banned now, isn't it? It was banned yesterday. So good.
Yeah.
So they can't show. They can't show.
It's
They
the
can't.
best thing in the world, because when I talk about that haul business, they
Mm,
they, they call it, oh, my Christmas haul, my birthday haul, my Halloween haul, my whatever haul. Um, you know, I think that the biggest problem with any of this is comparison.
Mm.
And as soon as there's comparison, you've got that whole issue where people are going, I want the biggest, the best to show off about. And it's not about that. It's we've got to get back to the real reason that we have Christmas is to celebrate, to be together. And, you can put a ceiling on family and say, we're going to make it $10. Whatever you can get for $10, that's the price. If that's what you want to do, that makes it really easy. Or say, don't buy for the adults, only buy for the children.
Mm.
You can work your way around your budget as long as you discuss it. The problem is when someone turns up with a big old gift and you've got your £10 gift, they didn't get the memo. They didn't read the memo. Well,
Take
that's
it, take
yeah.
it, be happy, take the gift off them, thank them, give them the £10 gift. That's what I would. No
And
shame, no, I have no
tell
shame.
them to read the memo next year.
It
What's
was
the
an
message?
email, it was a WhatsApp message. Did you see it? You know, look again next year properly. I agree. But
Yeah, I
Nona's
think
got an event this weekend, apparently. They're
yeah, and that
sharing
was the
stories.
balance I was looking for actually, because
Hmm.
it goes back to what we were discussing last time, where on LinkedIn as well, you have events on Christmas Day, on Boxing Day. They run. I don't think there's an end date, end time to it. It's just some people in different countries pick up the hosting. So you can find events if you can't leave your home for whatever reason, or you choose not to, you just want to stay in and be online with people. LinkedIn has a lot of events carded for it. And yeah, if you want to go out, I think what Noni is doing here is just so different but so personal as well. So yeah, if you're in her areas, San Francisco, I think,
Yeah, that's
please
where she
follow
is.
her,
That's
and
where she is. That's where she
yeah,
is.
there are lots of events. You could check Eventbrite, Meetup. There are places online where people are meeting over the holidays because they know people are going to be home, not have family around, and looking for things to do. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, for sure. And so I like Annie's idea. It seems like we've forgotten what Christmas is really about, as you just said, Paulette. I think it's about Mary's little limbs, Paris little lamb. I don't know. Anyway, and me eating and drinking. That's all it is, right? Yeah. So all we see is food, drink, and electricals. Commercialization is called, right? It's sad, but
Yeah,
it's
but
what it is. Like, let's not fall for it. Let's not fall into it.
I think your values and what you want to achieve with your family, that's where you need to focus.
Mm.
If you want the laundry list of gifts, if that's your thing, but to me, that leads to a lot of disappointment. If you can't keep that up, and that's where the depression comes in and the suicidal thoughts come in, because you can't put your stuff online because there's nobody to compare it to. You're feeling ashamed. That's a lot of negativity there. That especially for
I,
young people that don't understand these things and their mind can't wrap around those things, I think is a bad way to go.
Anyway, let's end with what you do on Christmas. I'm eating my grapes. Lisa, what's your Christmas day like?
Well, we know Annie is eat and play video games, but I like that you
Nah,
take.
there's more. There's more to my day than that. I'll get to that in a minute.
I'm excited and intrigued. For me, I try not to do any work. I work from home, so it's easy to go on the computer and find things to do.
Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. It's something I have to mentally, because I'm always, again, from when I come from a place of service and people writing, they wanna be able to
Mm.
help and support women, right? So, but for me, I don't have a lot of family where I live. I have to drive to where they are. So for us, and that's a thing we do in Trinidad. Christmas Day we stay home. Boxing Day and the days after we go to family and visit. So I get my favorite foods and I order it. So baking these foods are very labor intensive. I don't have the energy for that. Thankfully, people are great at cooking and sell these things so I can buy them. So I buy my favorite foods. I decorate my little room. I don't even put up like a big Christmas tree and stuff. It's too much work for my aching body. Okay, I have too many medical issues to do all that because the cleaning up after is the issue, right? But yeah, I just try to get my favorite foods, do a little Netflix, and rest. I think rest and recuperate because I'm always working. For me, it's just to rest, recuperate, and then see family that I haven't seen for months. Go around, get see my mom, get her a bit of her cooking. See my niece who I haven't seen in some months as well. She turned 4 last week. Yeah, so I need to go see her.
So for us,
It sounds
we
like fun. This is you now, Paulette.
Okay, so I have we have Charles's parents for Christmas. Some people say, why don't you have a turkey? But I always say we have Charles's parents for Christmas. We've been together nearly 30 years, and every year we've had Charles's parents for Christmas. And his sister. So that will be the six of us that we have for Christmas. So it'll be me, Charles, Ben, and Charles's parents and his sister, and I will have a jigsaw puzzle set up, and every time anyone goes past, I get them to put some bits on the jigsaw because it's just something to do, entertain them while we're cooking. We usually have Christmas movies playing, whether they like it or not, that's what's happening. Um, Ben, I usually ask to entertain them whilst we are cooking. He would far rather be in his room talking to his mates. But that's an 85-year-old granddad, an 81-year-old grandma with dementia, and his auntie that he doesn't have anything in common with. He finds it quite hard, but he's prepared to give it a go for that day. He may drink a few ciders, but that helps. That loosens him a little bit. So, that's good. So by the time we get to the table, it's like you're having a glass of wine, he'll be like, nope, I'll just stick with the cider, I'm fine. Um, but he'll have it in the wine glass just for the occasion. Um, my parents are no longer with us, so I don't have parents to consider as such. So Christmas Day is with his parents. Now I've drawn the line. They don't spend Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and the day after staying at our house because of my health. They've accepted Christmas Day is that all they get. So they stay at his sister's house, which is just like 10 minutes down the road. And then they all come to us on Christmas morning, probably for breakfast because that's what they do. And then it will be breakfast, lunch, Ben now driving is probably going to go and get them so that means they can all have a drink, and then he'll take them back. If he's had the ciders, he won't. Charles will, and then Charles will just hit the red wine as they leave. As they leave, we'll pick the bottle up. But it will be that kind of a Christmas, and there won't be anybody guzzling the roast potatoes because they're no longer at the table anymore. Um, so I will be thinking about family on that day, but I'll also know that I haven't got to go nuts on the roast potatoes.
Mm.
Um, but the thing that I would say about it is Boxing Day is the fun day. The games, our best friends come around with their leftovers, the comparison of what's happened on the days, who said what to who, and they've also got a grandparent or a parent with dementia, so they will tell their stories, we will tell our stories, and none of it is in any way demeaning or horrible. It will just be quite amusing to compare how hard it is to cope. But by the same token, we can't play games anymore because it's too hard and it's not fair. So we've changed it now to Ben has beer games that he plays with his friends, which are really silly, but they're fun. So we'll play his games that he plays at uni, where normally when you do it wrong, you have to do like tap tap nose, everyone has to do tap, tap, nose. And if you go tap nose, then you have to have a drink. Well, obviously we can't do that. So we just keep a score now, a tally, you know, and we
Right.
do things that are fun, you know, because we can't do the drinking games because, you know, I'm on drugs and everybody else would be in a right state. So that
Why does anyone always get it wrong? I don't understand.
you just drink. You just hit the drink from
Tap
9
nose.
onwards.
Tap nose. Tap nose. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot that.
I think the drinking is where we'll mess it up. So
No. It's what makes Christmas fun for me anyway. Like my Christmas starts on New or Christmas Eve, right? So stay up late, of course, play your game till morning, fall asleep eventually, wake up on Christmas Day half drunk already. Well, so mine is a whiskey challenge. I got a bottle of whiskey I must finish, a litre bottle. That's the game. Yeah, I got to finish it, Paulette, and still be walking. So yeah, that's why I drink and I sleep and I drink anyway. By the time we wake up, so my son and I, here's what we do with our Christmas.
are you going to sing with your son? Please say yes.
Annie, I can't hear you. Are you singing? Has Annie lost his microphone or is he still singing?
I don't know what Annie's doing.
He's still singing Feliz Navidad.
I tell you, we play that all day on Christmas Day.
Do you actually do karaoke to it?
Yes, we sing that. We carry our phones around and literally we play that. We sing.
Oh
And
my God.
by then I'm totally drunk.
Please do a video. Please do a video and send it. Please, I will pay. Please.
We must play that at least 30 times in a day, literally.
No.
Yeah, and we drive everyone else crazy, but that's just what we do, right? And then in between that is when we eat, and then we'll go back to our games. You gotta get through levels on Christmas Day. Levels. So you have to finish half the game. Yeah, we never do. But
who do you have for Christmas, Annie? Do you have like all the family or?
No, they're not invited. It's not that. They're not. No one's invited. If we're lucky, Marie's brother and his wife and his missus might come round, but no, they're in 40s and 30s, so they know not to expect. And like I said, they blend in. That's what you hear. They're here every most days of the week anyway, so you blend in. And then I think they're going to bring their own food on Boxing Day, so that will help. Help us accept them more happily. They don't bring any food. It's like, what are you doing here? Really.
What about the in-laws?
They're the in-laws that we tolerate.
Oh.
That's it. I have no big, that's Christmas is done. That's it. That's why I have no stress. I don't know. I can sympathize with those who are stressful people.
I thought you still had Marie's parents around, so
but they can't be bothered. So Maria might go and see them, but they're 10 minutes up the road. But they're in the 80s, 80 something, 80 something,
Okay, so she'll go visit them.
So they have no interest in coming around anywhere. The crap is just being in their little piece, doing their drinking.
It's the Feliz Navidad that you kept playing. That's why you did it.
But now everyone knows what we do. If I were to come online on Christmas Day, for whichever the room is on.
Oh my God!
I'd have to play it. I'd have to play it, and I'd have to do what we do to it. But I'd be drunk by then. I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's too much to show.
Really
can I ask a favor, Annie? Will you get your son? Can you get your son to video the two of you doing it, and then we'll just watch it privately?
Okay.
Screening.
Now, for your eyes only, Paulette.
I'm here. What the hell?
I can't trust Lisa. Won't put it on social media. I know what Lisa. But Lisa, I'm tempted. I couldn't resist any. I couldn't resist.
No,
it was by accident. I pressed the wrong button.
My phone got hacked.
Oh dear.
I wouldn't do that. but please
I'll
make my
send it to you, Lisa.
Thank you.
You'll never
Make my
know.
Christmas. Oh my God. So
We'll see. We'll
it is
see.
almost 8 o'clock. I have a meeting after, unfortunately.
Yes. It's been fun.
I'm
It's been fun. You know.
I'm seeing the questions you asked, Natalie, about what smoothie will be. I don't do smoothies for Christmas.
Mm.
Whiskey and alcohol.
Oh no, no! It's time to go. It's time to You can't be healthy at Christmas, can you? I don't know. No, those
No.
well.
You can, but it's not fun.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I do big salads, so I get my veggies in. But I don't do smoothies for Christmas now.
Mm.
No, it's you gotta drink some alcohol.
Yes. So,
We
so,
have a
so
lot of
no,
nice
this,
things here.
this thing, what was so nice? So we have to end, right? So what I would say is, just have fun as much as you can.
Yeah,
Just
Just
take
have
the
fun.
stress out of it.
yeah,
De-stress.
Mm. Mm.
Take the
Yeah.
de-stress pill. Just take a de-stress, bit of early preparation, and just make it as easy and as
yeah. Even if you have to
uncomplicated.
work, even if you have
Yeah.
to work like Annie,
Mm.
have something nice to eat, connect with someone, a phone call to someone you haven't seen in a long time, I think
Mm.
will do wonders for you and for that person. And make sure your colleagues, you all do something nice together. Even if you all
Yeah.
don't agree with each other for most of the year, this is a time to be grateful for being alive and for being, having. So share a tin of Danish cookies or some
Mm.
quality street sweets, whatever it is, even if you're not great with each other for the rest of the year, I think this is a time to put all of those things aside.
Yes.
Find moments of joy with whoever you're around. And if
Mm.
you're not around someone, this is where volunteering helps. This is where going on Zoom calls with family helps.
Mm.
Do whatever it is you need to do to find moments of joy.
Indeed.
Yeah, and the only thing that I was going to say very quickly before we go off is don't worry about offending people or with religion and things like that because I have spoken about this before. I've got Jewish friends who have Christmas, and I've got Muslim friends who have Christmas.
Yeah.
And they will come to my house and have Christmas. So, we start from about the 18th. And actually it starts this Saturday coming. We've already had Ben's big chamber choir concert. That was last week. And then it starts this Saturday, but this Friday actually is the first one. And then it's all the way every day, right the way through. We've got something going on. And I mean, I just think by doing it like that, you see everybody gets a bit of you, but you don't exhaust yourself. They get a couple of hours, goodbye, nice to see you, here's a gift, see you later. That's a lovely way to be. And don't be worried about offending someone. I mean, I will buy, as I said, my Jewish friends gifts. I will buy my Muslim friends gifts, and they are equally accepting of the gift because it's a gift. Thank you. You gave us a gift. Don't be worried
Megan,
Totally.
about that.
Totally.
this
Yeah.
is the season that I am grateful for having you in my life, and this is how I show you by giving a gift.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that by midlife, I mean, you've earned the right to do as you wish. Literally, that's something that, especially if you're coming from a place of love, and it hits
That
the
was
wrong
the
notes. Actually,
intention.
you just say, you know what, I did my best. The older you are, I think the more ignorant you can be. I'm 75. I'm going to be so ignorant and rude. I'm going to live
Oh,
I
I hope
think
I still know you. I can double down. I'll
I will be
double
so
down on you.
I will be offensive even to myself, I think. Literally. I said, by the time you get to a certain age, you can't care what other people think. You have to do what feels right for you. Of course, we try not to be offending to other people, but it's one day. They go over it. They will. I promise you. Don't think too much about this Christmas day. You have your day. You've earned
yeah.
this. It's your day.
I think
That's
that's the message. Have a day that you want to have.
yes. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Look, thank you, our friends. We'll see you on the other side of this Christmas thing. It'll be long gone by the time we see you again, right?
Yes, so have a great holiday season. Be safe, be happy, and join us again in January when we're going to start back our discussions about everything to do with menopause. But until then, thank you for being here and be safe. Be safe so that we could come back in 2026.
Yeah, well done, Lisa. Sorry. I was going to play the normal song to